A major controversy has erupted in the upcoming International Books Fair in Madrid as Spanish journalist Winston Sabogal claimed that the Colombian government didn't allow the most important Colombian writers to participate in this event because of political reasons. Sabogal, who is the executive director of W Magazine, wrote in an article that, and I'm quoting him, the government of President Iván Duque decided to make the list of the authors who were allowed to participate in the event based on the worst type of political sectarianism. In addition, Sabogal explained that the event will be fully incomplete without these writers. Of course, it is undeniable that the absence of these writers is quite shocking, considering that we're talking about some of the greatest writers in the history of Colombia, some of the greatest intellectuals, some of the greatest authors that the South American nation has given to the world. We're talking about people such as Laura Restrepo, Santiago Gamboa, Héctor Abad, and even Fernando Vallejo. And in addition to this surprising situation, it is true that each of these writers have expressed their political disagreements with the government of President Iván Duque over the last few years, and especially over the last few months, following the widespread protests that took place here in Colombia. So the interesting thing about this is that responding to Winston's allegations, the government of Colombia said through their ambassador in Spain, Juan Guillermo Plata, that, and I'm quoting him, the government made the list of the authors who are going to participate in the most neutral manner, prioritizing their current work and cultural diversity of Colombia. It is worth saying that Plata made these remarks during an interview with the Spanish news outlet Libertad Digital. So this is also quite interesting because, I mean, it is an undeniable fact that the governments, when they make the list of the writers who can participate in these types of events, every government pays a lot of attention to their politics, to the political visions of the people who are going to represent Colombia or any other country. That is an undeniable fact. Some politicians pick the writers depending on their political affiliations. Like, for example, if a writer is like an open supporter of the government in question, the government will facilitate their participation. And in the other way around also can happen, like it looks like it's happening in this situation, that if the author disagree with the government, well, the government will simply not allow that writer to participate. That situation has been taking place in Colombia over the last few decades with several governments, and it also took place in many other countries of Latin America, including Brazil and Chile. So this is not exactly something new. But I must say that the problem with Sabogal's remarks is that it is quite disrespectful to the writers that are going to participate in the event, because somehow he is saying that these writers are supporters of President Iván Duque. This is basically what Sabogal is saying in the article, and that is not exactly true, because we're talking about a series of writers who, some of them haven't expressed their political visions, and some others actually have said that they don't support the president of Colombia, that they don't support the government's ruling party. And in addition to this, I also think that this article somehow makes the indirect assumption that these writers are simply not good enough. I think that I mean, he's basically saying this because This remark that the event will be incomplete without this series of riders that the government didn't allow to participate, that remark basically says that these riders are simply like not good enough. And I honestly believe that this is extremely disrespectful to these riders who are part of the newest generation of riders of Colombia. Some really talented authors, including people such as Dario Jaramillo, Melba Escobar, Jorge Franco, Margarita Garcia, and many others who are going to represent Colombia in the International Books Fair in Madrid. So we have to see what is going to happen here, especially if these authors are going to make any kind of remark against these Spanish journalists, because, as I said, the article is extremely disrespectful for this writer. It makes the indirect assumption that they are not exactly like the greatest writer in the world. So many people in social media have been pointing out that it is quite possible that some of these writers may make a declaration, and depending on how serious this declaration can be, their participation in the event could actually be at risk. Reporting from Medellin, Colombia, Luis Orozco, Newsweek.